What's good, fandom? It is an important day. As you know, because of that, had to get a little bit spiffy on them. Eat your heart out, Jockney, because this tie is real. And the RWBY Volume 9 trailer is also real. The long hiatus is almost over. And it's been a crazy one. We've been eating each other alive and almost dying. So, is what it is. But I've always been one of those people who've said that the longer breaks are probably needed, because I've never wanted them to be like, oh, we didn't have enough time to be an excuse for, like, either some animation not being up to par, some ideas that they had and wanted to implement, maybe not getting able to be put in and had to be cut for time and stuff. I never wanted that to be a reason that stuff could not make it into a volume. So I'm used to these long hiatuses as well. Like if you watch anime, you're used to them as well. ReZero Season 3, where you at? Not here. Whatever, doesn't matter. Because we're talking about RWBY. But before we get into the actual trailer, if you're on Twitter, you've been seeing that some of the voice actors, showrunners have been dropping little screenshots. So I wanted to talk about those a little bit, but I don't know if they'll probably be in the trailer. But if they are, I just want to like cover those bases already. Mainly the two being Blake and Yang's. It seems like they're just like in the clouds or whatever. And this kind of goes back to something I had, a little theory I had earlier, where it was just like maybe, well, because we saw RWBY in the clouds as well during the teaser. So I'm like, maybe every one of them have to almost like go through a certain trial of some kind to get off the island, and whether or not they can overcome it or accept it and learn to live with it, it can determine, like whether they can leave or not. So RWBY's was very dark and depressing and foreboding, that plays off her emotions. So, or it can play off emotions like that, but maybe that's like her not accepting hers. And Blake and Yang's were both more white, pure, with a little bit of pink inside, so maybe they're able to either accept or overcome their trial, or just accept or overcome their emotions. And it seems like, pink is usually representation of love, so maybe we're getting a little bit of Bumblebee action too. Who knows? If they don't do it this volume, I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty much insane if they don't. There was that one, and then there was the one where RWBY was in that room with the globe in the back. Now, I know with the Everafter, with the Cheshire Cat, they had another screenshot with this kingdom full of red and stuff, so guessing strong Queen of Hearts vibes. But for some reason in this room, when she walked into it, I was getting like Little Mermaid vibes, and it's weird, I know, but looking at a lot of the little artifacts in the back, it reminded me of Ariel's little treasure trove of stuff she had from the surface. So I'm wondering, like, the girl who fell from the world, is this whole little treasure trove? Like, have other stuff fallen from Remnant into the Everafter, and she's kind of either taking those as mementos, or maybe she's just living here and she's studying stuff, using stuff, and like this is her little workstation or where she lives. Plus, if you look, there was little tiny Weiss, Blake, and Yang in RWBY's coat. So again, Alice in Wonderland, there are those potions that can either make you very big or very tiny. So I'm guessing either they ate some bad stuff, drank some bad stuff, either they're small or RWBY is very big. I don't know. But it's really playing into this wacky universe that they can have with the Everafter, and that's what I wanted them to do, because this is completely removed from anything that can happen on Remnant. Like, sure, you can have character moments here that carry over, but you can just do some crazy, off-the-wall, weird stuff and have it just, like, you can get really strange with it. And it seems like they're going that way, and I would have loved to really see what they do with it in the end. So I just wanted to touch on those real quick, and now we can get to the trailer, because I'm super excited and I can't wait anymore. Biggest thing we're looking for, obviously, a release date. If I had to guess, I'm thinking maybe late February, early March, hopefully, because they said it was coming out in the first part of 2023. those are pretty much your last months you got, you know. Late February, early March. That's what I'm banned for. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, play.
Where am I?
We're in Wonderland.
I think we're in a fairy tale. Let's try to be more logical, shall we? We fell from the sky. Ruby made friends with a tiny mouse.
Who's
Blake and I
probably
got
evil.
caught by killer vines, and you got
What?
your arm stolen by a
Talking raccoon riding on a purple wagon filled with trash.
Yes, that.
So I said I wanted them to get weird with it.
Tell me,
It
why
seems
do
they're
you
getting
want
weird
to go
with
to the
it.
tree?
We want to go home, and we believe the
That
tree
were like
can
the
get us
Queen of
there.
Hearts, maybe.
I sense a butt approaching.
But we don't know how to get to the tree.
You do not go to the tree goes to you, unless of course you're me.
And
You
I
see.
figured the Cheshire
Not
Cat
even a
would be
little
like talking in riddles, or hopefully like being a little bit of a guy,
What
kind of like it was in
are
Alice in
you?
Wonderland.
You never were the hero.
Oh, they're really on the clouds.
So, what are you gonna be?
You seem to be carrying a rather
Yep.
large burden with you.
I'm fine. I can handle it.
What if you could leave Ruby Rose behind, shed like an old coat? What might happen
Like, stop being a huntress? Is that kind
if
of
you
what happened
don't?
to the girl who fell through the wall? Like, she was a huntress, came here, saw it as February 18th, called it! Breaking news. So, after my trailer reaction, I went on Twitter for a little bit, and I saw this post on the RWBY Twitter talking about how they're moving the show from Rooster Teeth to Crunchyroll. And honestly, I'm not mad at it. Like, the only reason I had a first membership in the first place was to watch RWBY that week earlier. So I probably just gonna move it from Rooster Teeth to Crunchyroll anyway. But the main reason that probably either I can see this happening is like either one, Crunchyroll paid them a lot of money, or two, a lot of this drama and backlash that's happening has kind of wanted them to house it somewhere else, you know, to kind of separate RWBY from everything else that's going on at Rooster Teeth, you know, because when that was going down, I saw constant doom posts on Twitter, on Reddit. I was like, what's gonna happen to RWBY? Is it gonna be canceled? All the animators are leaving. What's gonna happen? Blah blah blah. So that's pretty much what I see. Like I see this as their response to that worry, that outbreak. You know, it's like, so no matter what happens with Rooster Teeth, if it is a sinking ship, if it's gonna keep going, RWBY as it's by itself will keep going because it's the biggest IP they got right now, you know. So you need to make sure that you can keep this going. And it's like, people have been wondering as well if RWBY is just going to be kind of assimilated into Warner, and like into the Warner Bros. Animation, especially with the Justice League crossover happening. That still remains to be seen. But again, like if Rooster Teeth does go down, I can see that happening. But either way, Indie comes on Crunchyroll, it's definitely gonna get it, at least put it in front of more people. I think. I know it was at least I'm pretty sure it was already on Crunchyroll before this, but like having it housed there, probably gonna get pushed a lot more with Crunchyroll's marketing, and again separating it from everything that could happen bad at Rooster Teeth. I don't really have a problem with it, you know. If anything, hopefully this just helps RWBY grow as an IP and reach more people and allow us to do more kind of expanded things, like you know, like having RWBY and Blaze Blue, having Everafter being made. You know, those are great. Having the mangas, having Ice Cleanup. You know, if you're doing all these things, you can't really have that if you have like other incidents dragging it down or having it attached to its name. So I'm looking forward to it, I guess. Ready. But yeah, is that what happened to the girl who fell through the water? Like, she came here, she stopped being a huntress, or either saw it pointless to go back to women or to go back to being a huntress, so she just kind of stayed here in her little mind or whatever. Like, I guess because if you stay down for that long, you'd probably be going crazy, like freaking talking raccoons and animals and whatever else. So probably a little bit of craziness there. But hold on, and oddly enough, there again is no image of Jean. Well, I say again, but we've had like that one quick little image in the teaser, but it's like nothing. I am worried for my boy. I know I want everybody else to be safe, but not seeing him freaks me out just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. So again, and they are still leaning into these heavy Alice in Wonderland illusions. Yang seems, because was that Alice in Wonderland or was that Wizard of Oz that had like there was some version that had them riding on like a blimp and getting caught in a tornado. I know the tornado is very Wizard of Oz, so I think it's that story instead. But it seems like that's what was going on with Yang right there. It seems like RWBY is playing chess with the Queen of Hearts, and so this little part with RWBY talking to RWBY, it's a very like volume 1 and probably earlier version of herself, probably a more it's either there to represent an idealistic version of her or being like, hey, this is what you used to be, look at what you are now, like you're broken, you're depressed, you've seen what it's really like to be on that other side of actual Huntress work. You know, it's like, do you still want to do that? They talked about like, oh, do you want to give that up? Do you really want to go back to that? So this kind of hopefully maybe confirms my theories of whenever they get engulfed by these clouds or whatever they have to deal with them, it's kind of some trial or something they have to overcome, and you know, either that or it's Neo. You know, we saw Neo turn into RWBY. Could be Neo. Even though that would be strange. Like, biggest question, I know I said I'm worried about Jean. Is Neo making it out of this volume? It doesn't, like, the Everafter doesn't seem to be as connected to the afterlife that people thought it was in the first place, so I don't know if we're going to see a version of Roman here. If that was the case, then I could have seen her staying here, but without that, I don't really see it. You know, I see her wanting to kill them, maybe having to work together to get off of the Everafter, because, like, Neo still has to get her licks back in on Cinder, so I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, a lot more of the screenshots that came out from the voice actresses and showrunners were in here, and we got to see a little bit more of them. You know, like RWBY playing chess with the Queen of Hearts. It almost reminds me of when they play chess in the first Harry Potter, and they had to actually use themselves as stand-ins. It seems like Blake, Yang, and Weiss are using themselves as stand-ins here. Yang beating up the Jabberwocky. You know, we see Salem. So a lot of it, I'm guessing a lot of this is, it seems very RWBY-centric, like we are playing off of her feels, her emotions, whether or not she wants to continue to be a Huntress or not. And it's, I'm really glad we're expressing this, because I am one of those people who are like, oh, I want to see RWBY not be that typical shonen protagonist, like, oh, my friends are my power, oh, terrible things are happening, but hey, we can keep pushing on, keep moving forward. I don't want to exactly see her have an entire mental breakdown like everybody else does, but I do want to see her in that more depressed state. You know, she's like, what, 17 now, I think? And you go through the fall of Beacon, you go through the fall of Atlas, you know, you're losing countless friends, and people who you thought you could trust, you're learning that you can't trust them anymore. So that can take a toll on somebody's mental state, you know? And that's pretty much what I really see going on in here. And I've wanted them to play into this whole weirdness of the Everafter, and it really seems like they do. We're getting little shots of Penny here. You know, her reflection in the sword. I want them to find Penny's body and bury it on the island. Is that gonna happen? Is that a little bit too dark for them? I don't know. Maybe. I want it to happen still. But yeah, a minute 44 trailer. I do also want Weiss and John to have that talk about what happened after everybody else fell as well. Like I said, not seeing any John, it does make me worried. But you know what? I'm still here for it. I'm hype. If you're hyped too, let me know. Let me know what you think is going to be going on in the Everafter. Whether you think, like me, where it's going to be kind of like trials and emotion based, or whatever else you may think. And you know, hey, I talk about RWBY and just anime in general on this channel. We'll be reacting to Volume 9 like everybody else. If you just want to hang out, come in, sub. You know, that's all I ask. So either way, yeah, that's pretty much it for now. And I'll catch y'all in the next video, which the next RWBY video might actually be Volume 9, Episode 1. I don't know, I haven't planned out that far yet, but it might just be. So, gonna have a good time. Come hang out, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.